Cheers, guys. Epyx911, welcome to
Gaming Friday. Well, I hear some of you guys missed my smiling mug last week. I'm sorry about that, but work does come first. Got to pay the bills. But in the meantime, that's all done with. It is now time for some serious gaming tonight. Canada's 150th birthday tomorrow. So we're going to be celebrating that as well. But in the meantime, I will turn you over to my bro Exity for some VR news.
That's right, the Friday, June 30th, 2017 edition of VR News on a Gaming Friday. And speaking of games, the first story has to do with the free VR experience of Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, we've known about this for quite a few months, and it was always going to time itself with the launch of the movie, which is now upon us. And the reviews are starting to come in, and predictably they're meh. It's okay. It's free. What do you expect? And it's the what do you expect that kind of irks me, because I see it as a massive, huge missed opportunity to really market the hell out of VR, especially considering not just Marvel Studios, but Sony Pictures' stake in all of this. It's huge. By their own admission, they called off marketing the PlayStation VR back when they had supply chain issues. Those have been a thing in the past for months, and I still have yet to see an aggressive marketing campaign. What would work better than a Spider-Man Homecoming experience that's free, that blows all expectations out of the water? Why do the expectations have to be it's going to be okay for free? Why not spend 5, 10, 15 million on this and make sure it's amazing? Pun intended, right? That I don't get. I don't understand that. There's no shortage of coin here. This is a surefire thing. Between the two companies, they have milked superheroes literally to the tune of billions of dollars. What would 5 or 10 million have mattered if it could have really pushed VR forward for everyone involved? I just, again, think of it as a missed opportunity. Let me know your guys' thoughts. And the next story, Oculus Studios' Augmented Empire gets a release date. That release date, July 13th. The game, Augmented Empire, a turn-based strategy game. And strategy games, probably my second favorite genre right after RPGs. Love real-time, love turn-based. Talking about opportunities to make a statement, this is another one that hopefully can show. Because when you say turn-based strategy, that's not everybody's first thought of what VR will excel at. In fact, it would probably be down near the bottom. Now, there are examples available, but really amazing, mind-blowing ones, not so much. So, be neat to see. And what I would like to see would be the equivalent of what Might and Magic Clash of Heroes did with puzzle games. And what they did is they transcended way beyond the fact that they were just a puzzle game by being good. It was a good RPG that also happened to be a puzzle game. So hopefully that's the case with Augmented Empire. Again, Gear VR, Oculus Rift, July 13th. Next news story, Google, to probably nobody's surprise, has begun experimenting with VR ads. Well, the exact headline is Google begins experimenting with VR ads. This from Road to VR, which I don't buy for a second. They've been working on this for a hell of a long time. This is just the first one to probably get published, right? And the ad in question, or the method in question, is a small spinning cube, looks to be placed on a menu, and that could be any menu. It could be a game, it could be Oculus Home, Vive Home, etc. The cube, each side of the cube or each face of it, an ad that you can click on. It rotates, you can spin it, stop it, and then launch the advertisements. I don't mind that because it's not so obtrusive. What I hope it doesn't do, and the analogy I usually use for this, is the two examples of sports advertising. If you look at, what we call soccer in North America, but football, Fußball, in Europe, I love Premier League, Dutch, German leagues. What I don't like so much is the advertising, but it's almost always been a part of the game, right? Find your typical player, the jersey plastered or the kit plastered with advertisements from various advertisers. That for hockey, for example, in North America is a huge no-no. Do not taint the logo with advertisement, right? They've been trying to go there for a while and they're meeting a lot of resistance. It was one thing to take the white boards around the rink and put advertisements on those. That was a tough battle. Jerseys, even tougher. So in that same way, I hope whatever Google comes up with, because it is inevitable, is not going to detract or take away from the VR experience itself. Next story, HTC Vive and Lenovo now announcing their partner for their standalone headsets. And that partner is Qualcomm and the Snapdragon. Specifically, the Snapdragon 835 chip. That's the one that they're going to use. We've seen older ones typically on Qualcomm units, so it's nice to know they're going with the newer unit. Where I see this, well, performance-wise, it's kind of between mobile and desktop, right? Or desktop/console, kind of right in the middle. I love, though, that they're going to pursue tracking. And hopefully they can pull it off, the inside-out tracking. That remains to be seen. If they do, they will carve out a pretty damn nice niche for themselves. But to do that, yeah, they're going to have to nail tracking. Do that, and we're in for some awesomeness. Now, spec-wise, I mentioned Snapdragon 835. They're going to be AMOLED screens, which are going to look amazing. Non-Fresnel lenses as well, so we shouldn't see so much a distortion. Unfortunately, field of view 100 would have been nice to be a little higher, but hey, that's what they've decided to go with. Next story. You guys in the UK, and I can't help but think this is Sony's mea culpa to all of you in the UK, because it's probably the third, by my count, sale of PlayStation VR. This time, pretty substantial. So they launched at £349 late last year. The headset currently, and I believe it's just today, so hopefully this video is reaching you guys in time, £289 for the headset. The camera, so this is the standalone HMD of just literally the HMD. The camera down to £36, which is pretty cool. Move controllers down to £59 for the pair, and Farpoint down to £17. Well, you might as well say 18, right? Huge savings, not just for that game, but in total. So if you're sitting on the fence waiting, probably a good time right now if you are in the UK to pull the trigger for PlayStation VR. Next up, a patent filed by Samsung for what are being called magnetic VR hand controllers. Now, if you look at these things, the picture used for the patent filing, they basically look like Samsung Gear VR remotes with straps that go around the palm of each hand. So imagine the tracking's there. Never going to be as powerful, obviously, as the desktop counterparts. But if they can pull this off and have a pretty good attach rate, that'll be a tough uphill climb because there's already 5 million plus Gear VR units out there. But if, and there's a lot of ifs, yeah, it'll be pretty damn impressive. And the last story, guys, Radeon and GeForce video cards, which I haven't really been keeping up with because I'm not in a position to purchase a card. If I was, and when I do, it's going to be a Radeon card for my second rig, probably a 580, RX 580. And it's those cards that, according to this article, are really scarce right now. Now, we've known for a while that AMD cards make really good Bitcoin mining cards, right? Well, apparently another cryptocurrency, this one called Ethereum, it benefits not just from AMD, but NVIDIA GPUs as well. High end, of course. So the RX 580s and the NVIDIA 1080s, really good Ethereum mining cards. And that is causing some supply chain issues. People wanting to buy the cards haven't been able to find them. They breathed a momentary sigh of relief when the Ethereum currency dipped. Unfortunately, that was pretty short-lived. It is now back up, and cards once again apparently scarce. But I'd love to hear from you guys. Have you purchased one of those cards recently? And if so, was it tough to track one down? Let me know in the comments below. All right, guys, that is it for the Gaming Friday edition of VR News. Have an awesome Gaming Friday, and we will catch you guys tomorrow. Cheers.